Hey, it's Nick from SonicTone Amps. I'm joined today with Craig, and we're going to take the Mercenary for a spin. Thanks for joining us, Craig.
Good to be here.
Okay, so the Mercenary is part of the Modern Series lineup. So it's a no-frills version. We have other amps in the Modern Series called the Loyalist and the Patriot, which are feature-rich 3-channel amps. The Mercenary here, this one is going to be just a 2-channel amp with a shared EQ. And channel 2 has 2 volumes that are foot switchable, a rhythm and a lead. So you've got channel 1 here, a gain knob for that. You got a gain knob for channel 2, your volumes, 3-band EQ, and you do have a presence and resonance knob as well as a master volume. Again, like I said, it's a bit of a no-frills amp. On the back, you do have an effects loop and a half power switch. So we were talking earlier and how the classic series sort of takes you up through the 80s. This sort of takes the handoff from there, and it's going to take you from the mid-80s up into the 90s and more modern high-gain sounds, right? So,
yeah, it's awesome because, I mean, sort of where your 81 Special leaves off, this takes it to that next level.
Right.
I'm going to play a couple tunes, and I think we have a good
yeah,
setting.
Right now what we got set up is just kind of take you through the run. We're actually kind of a low gain setting on channel 2. Right now our gain is on about only 2.5. So it's kind of taking up from about the mid 80s, and we're going to go from there.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Get some bluesy licks in there, but it's like amped up blues that were prevalent in the 80s, right? All right, so Craig just took you through some early 80s tones, mid 80s tones with the gain on about 2.5. So right now we're going to go take the gain up to what, about 5?
Yeah.
Let's do that. So,
and also what's really neat is towards the late 80s, they started adding a little bit of resonance and
help thicken up the tone.
Thicken up the tone a little bit. So I'm going to add just a little bit.
Yeah, so now we're going to get into more like the late 80s, maybe edging into the early 90s, a little bit more modern sound.
Yeah, so probably right before grunge came in.
Right.
Somewhere around that time.
Okay, let's hear it. Nice. It definitely feels like we're back in 1989. All right. Well, continuing our trip down memory lane, this amp was sort of purpose-built for more modern high-gain sound, so why don't we kind of drive it a little further? What do you think about that?
Yeah, and let's thicken it up at the same time.
Yeah, so we'll put the gain on about 8 right now, and resonance we took to about 6 or so. Is that about it? All right, So now we're going into more like squarely 90s modern sound. So let's Nice. Does it chug, huh?
It chugs.
Yeah, it chugs. All right. Okay, so here we are. We're going to take a look at channel 1. This amp actually comes with a pretty nice clean line to start with, and the clean line also gains out a little bit and gives you some nice crunches as well. So here we are. Gain on channel 1 is on about 3. So why don't you take it away, see what it sounds like. Very chimey, very nice. All right, so channel 1 has a really great clean line like you just heard. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take channel 1's gain all the way up to 10 because it can get you some pretty nice crunches too. That's a pretty good amount of gain coming from channel 1, huh?
Yeah.
So.
And it's pretty cool having the versatility, you know, whether single call or with the humbucker, how you can kind of catch that range, especially on that crunch. I mean, one other thing too is, you know, on this channel 1 crunch, you could probably do some pretty cool solos. I'm going to go back to a single call.
All right.
Kind of give it a little Stratia sound. To a humbucker.
All right. Very nice.
And it gets a little bit of feedback coming through on that clean channel.
Just on the clean channel, I know. Okay, I think we've covered about all the bases here, but there is one more area, and that is turning channel 2's gain all the way up to 10 and letting Craig rip here, covering the shredder's tone area. So I'm really excited to see what you're going to do. So let's see what this amp can do.
Yeah, it's almost like that gain is kind of like Louisiana hot sauce.
Oh, it's like, yeah, there you go. So that's about it. That covers all the bases here with the Mercenary amp, part of the Modern Series lineup at SonicTone. Thanks, Craig, for coming out and jamming with us. It sounded great. Stay tuned for other videos coming out soon, and check us out at SonicToneAmps.com. Thanks.